When the United States attacked Venezuela, the world didn't just witness explosions. The world witnessed a question resurfacing once again. Who really holds power, and who dares to challenge it? The US attacks Venezuela. Those three words alone sent shockwaves across global geopolitics. But the most interesting part isn't the strike itself. It's who stood up and openly pushed back. And this is where Russia steps into the spotlight again. Stay until the end, because what's happening right now could reshape the global balance of power. Before we go further, think about this for a second. When a powerful country attacks another in the name of security, is it protection or dominance? That question sits at the heart of the US attack on Venezuela. Washington claims this was a security operation. The usual reasons are given: drugs, regional stability, transnational threats. We've heard this narrative before. But Venezuela tells a very different story. They call it a violation of sovereignty. And suddenly, the world is split. From the US perspective, the message sounds clean and calculated. Venezuela is labeled a hub for transnational crime. The Maduro government is accused of being linked to drug trafficking networks that threaten regional security. According to Washington, this was not a war. It was global law enforcement. But here's where people around the world start asking questions. If this is law enforcement, why does it involve missiles? From Venezuela's side, the explanation is much simpler. This isn't about drugs. It's about oil. Venezuela holds the largest proven oil reserves on the planet. And in geopolitics, oil isn't just energy. It's leverage. Caracas argues that sanctions, economic pressure, and now military force are all part of the same long-term strategy. Weaken the state. Control the resources. That claim may sound harsh to some. But what's interesting is this. Russia didn't dismiss it. While many countries responded cautiously or stayed quiet, Russia spoke clearly. Moscow called the US attack on Venezuela an act of aggression against a sovereign nation. No shouting. No emotional rhetoric. Just the language of international law. This is where Russia's positioning becomes important. Not just as a military power, but as a counterweight in the global system. Russia wasn't simply defending Venezuela. Russia was sending a message to the world. Not every global problem can be solved with American missiles. Now we reach the most sensitive comparison. When Russia attacked Ukraine, the Western response was immediate and intense. Sanctions, condemnations, global pressure. But when the US attacks Venezuela, the reaction is noticeably softer. This is what many analysts describe as a double standard. And Russia hasn't missed the opportunity to point that out. Not to justify war, but to highlight how international law often bends toward power. For many countries outside the West, Russia's stance appears consistent. As of now, there is no independently verified confirmation of civilian casualties. That detail matters. However, if civilian harm is later confirmed, international pressure on the United States would intensify. Not just from smaller nations, but from major powers like Russia and China. Russia has repeatedly emphasized one principle. Modern conflicts must not target civilians. They consistently repeat this stance in international forums. And in this context, Russia's positioning looks increasingly strategic. Latin America reacted strongly. China called for dialogue. Iran and Cuba issued harsh condemnations. But Russia emerged as the clearest, most consistent, and most influential opposing voice. This isn't about who shouts the loudest. It's about who can challenge the dominant narrative. And for many nations, Russia is no longer seen only as an aggressor, but as a balancing force. The US attack on Venezuela is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. The world is no longer unipolar. No longer one voice. No longer one decision maker. Whether people like it or not, Russia has positioned itself as a power willing to say no. And in a fractured global era, that willingness carries weight. Now let me ask you this. Does the world need a single global police force? Or does it need balance between powers, like the one Russia is trying to assert? If you think discussions like this matter, you already know what helps videos like this reach more people. Content like this doesn't spread without the audience backing it. Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them. And if you want more global geopolitical analysis from angles mainstream media rarely explore, make sure you don't miss what's coming next. Because the world is changing. And not every change is reported honestly.